Hey YouTube, this is Shane Forzano again. This is going to be my second video just to try to express some of my political beliefs. I'm not trying to force anything on you. This is just my opinions, a little food for thought, just to get a little, other opinions out there. And this topic is going to be on the problems with our government, with particularly our government system, a centralized government, where the federal level is, in my opinion, too big. Really, it's I think more powerful, more restrictive than obviously, in my opinion, than it should be. So, start with the basics. You can't deny that in the 21st century, in 2013, we have a very large federal government, like that of Canada or Great Britain, countries like that. I mean, you can't deny it. The federal government has to put in their word on everything that you possibly do. And I live in Connecticut, a very liberal state, so this is even more so with our state government, and even on our local levels, But, my statement still remains the same, that we have a big centralized government. Personally, I think this is unconstitutional. I mean, the federal level is just meant to uphold the Constitution, really. And I think they step way over the line with a lot of this stuff. And even just on the state level, I think there's way, way too much. For example, in Connecticut, you have to get a license to put a shed in your backyard or to put a deck on your house. I mean, if you want to get a firearm, number one, weapons are expensive, so you have to go out to the gun store and actually buy it. But then you have to get a license, which is fine. But then you got to wait at least a 60-day waiting period. Plus, you got to pay these enormous taxes on it every year. When you go get your emissions done, you have, if your car is not deemed like environmentally, safe, you get charged even more. The tax is taken out of your pay, or just even on anything, gas taxes, oil taxes, things like that. It's astronomical. Sometimes it blows my mind, really. But just from a scientific standpoint, just making a few observations, I have realized that maybe the reason why no one seems interested or concerned with it is because that people want a larger government. They want a more powerful, centralized government. People want to be told what to do. Personally, I don't. I want to move to a conservative state where the government can have as little to do with my life as possible. That basically sums it up. But just in recent years and events, things like that, I think that people want a more controlling government. They want a government that has more to do with their everyday lives because, well, honestly, I don't know. I mean, personally, I cannot think of a good reason why people would want more government, because from my experiences and from my observations, it doesn't work. It is against our Constitution. It's against our basic beliefs as Americans, and I think your basic beliefs as a human being. I mean, common sense would say you don't want people telling you what to do all the time. So then, what's the difference between, the federal or the state government doing this? I think that's the main problem. I mean, obviously, you can't just flat out and say, this is what's wrong with our country, because I think it's gotten to the point in 2013 where people don't think it's a problem. People want this to happen, which is why no one's ever doing anything. I've tried to do my part. I mean, I'm 15 years old, so I can't vote. I don't have a car. I can't drive anywhere. But I've written a letter to our governor, Dan Malloy. I've written a letter to the White House, and I started making these videos. So I think I'm trying to do my part, just get some alternate opinions out there, just to stimulate a little brain function in the American public. But that is, my 2 cents. I mean, I think that there is too much centralized government. I mean, I don't think there should really be a centralized government at all. I mean, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in the simplest, most purest form of American government, and that is it. Everything else should be left on the state or the local level. Granted, there shouldn't be much left for the state or the local level, but in any case, you get what I'm trying to say. The federal government is just supposed to, uphold the Constitution and our American, values and things like that. Just the bare minimum. But I believe that they've stepped way out of line on a lot of things. For example, just the taxes that we have to pay, the restrictions on things like oil pipelines and offshore drilling. People wonder, why is gas so high? Well, the fact that the current administration has put so much restrictions on offshore drilling, and in a lot of states completely banned offshore drilling, well, what do you think is going to happen? The prices of gas and oil and diesel fuel and home heating oil are going to skyrocket because oil companies don't have enough of it. I mean, just there's so many instances, like I can't even think of them, right? I mean, there's so much, and I will tell you why exactly I believe that a centralized government is wrong. Number one, I just think it's unconstitutional. We have the American spirit of not wanting to be told what to do. We want to be the, controllers of our own destiny, our own fate. We don't naturally, I would say that Americans don't want, the government to be a big part in their lives, but for some reason in, recent years, people do. I personally don't. But I try to simplify things a lot because for some reason people don't quite understand politics as well as others. So I try to think of the government as like a business. So you have the big, powerful, centralized federal government, and that would be like a chain of major businesses. So think of it like a Walmart. And then think of, smaller, more local government and less powerful at the federal level, like a small business. If you walk into a small business and say, I need to talk to the manager, they're going to go, sure, hold on a second, and they're going to get the manager. You can get things done more easily. Where if you walk into a big business, like any major store brand, like let's just use a Walmart for example, and you say, I want to talk to the manager of Walmart. Yeah, good luck with that, right? Maybe you can send in a letter and it'll get there in 6 months. There's just so much stuff and regulation and things that you have to go through to get anything done. That's why it's so hard to do anything in this country or in this state if you live in Connecticut. So that is, I think that's a good analogy. I mean, Thomas Jefferson once said, I would rather be victim of too much liberty than too little of it. And I believe in that 100%. I would rather have 110% freedom and be left out there in the cold than to have the government's nose in my business all the time. I would rather have more freedom than too little of it. Whether the American people believe that, I don't know. But this is what I believe, and this is just my opinions, so I'm not trying to force anything on you, but if you could just leave some comments, see what people think, that'd be great. So, till next time, bye.